How's it going, you guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Internet Computer Coin. It's a new cryptocurrency that was just released on Coinbase on Monday, and it already has a market cap of 46 billion. The last trading volume over the past 24 hours is $1.6 billion, and the circulating supply is about $123 billion. So it's already number four, on the Coinbase coin market cap charts, and it's only been here a few days. It launched up to like $700, came back down to 300-400 range, then over between last night and today it's gone back up 400, 380. I bought some at around I think it was like 400, that mark, because obviously, do your own research, make your own financial decisions, but I could see it at least going back up to around 500 if it hits 700 in the first day. You can always be wrong, but that's the decision I made. But anyways, today I just wanted to go over a few of the details and some of the stuff that I'm learning about it as I'm learning about it. Bear in mind, I'm a little bit new to cryptocurrency, and making the videos is just kind of my way of learning, because the way I learn is by trying to provide value to other people. So let's start going through some different points. Okay, so according to this article from finance magnate magnets.com, which may not be the best source, it's kind of hard to find direct information on any of these coins, so bear in mind any of this stuff could be wrong when you're going on Google and typing in the news, so take all of it with a grain of salt. But according to this, it's been listed on a few major exchanges this week. We've got OKEX, Huobi, Binance, which is a huge one, Gate.io, Coinbase, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and a few others. Now, some of the reasons that it may be doing so well right now can be contributed to the fact that it's already been in the works for the past 5 years, even though it did kind of just get this big push, which is good. They put in the work on the back end, and then they went and did their marketing and got it listed on all of the exchanges and went through the processes for that. The reason I like that, in how I kind of explain cryptocurrency versus stocks to people typically, is that stocks, you're basically getting in after everything's already said and done, and you're able to invest in the company at the very end of it once they're already got the ball rolling. Cryptocurrency allows you the opportunity, higher risk, higher reward, to decide if you want to invest in that company from the very beginning, if you think it's a good idea and a good team. And because people are getting more and more intelligent, more and more educated, I think that that's okay, because I think we're able to make educated opinions on things and make our own decisions now. I'm not a huge fan of the day trading rules of the stock market, and all these regulations that they have to try and stop people from, on one hand, stop people from losing their money, but stop people also from being able to have the opportunity to make more money. Now, what this has to do with what we're talking about is that, a lot of these cryptocurrencies take advantage of this, come in, and they just ask for, basically a bunch of money, even though they have nothing done. So the fact that they put in 5 years of work beforehand, that's a big deal. Now, some of the other factors are the fact that they got some pretty impressive backers, such as Andreessen Horowitz and Polychain Capital. And essentially, from all of the stuff that I've read about this coin, the basic idea behind what they're trying to do is essentially enabling back-end softwares and kind of server-side stuff and processing to be and cloud computing to be on the internet. They want to add basically another part to the internet that's going to allow those things, which would be pretty sick, because I'm assuming, hopefully, that our devices would be faster. People in other parts of the world that may not be fortunate enough to be able to pay for expensive internet and stuff like that, should just need a device that's capable of processing at a certain speed, and then they shouldn't have to worry about how quick the internet is, because it has the ability to process a lot of that stuff on the back end. So also, they don't really need a unit that has as much processing power on top of that, which drives the cost of our electronics down. We don't need microchips that are as crazy as they are getting now, down to the 5 nanometer level and all that stuff. I'm not super huge on computers, so feel free to correct me in the comments if anything I said there was wrong. But yeah, so let's get into a few of these other points. So as I was trying to kind of process this, so they say that, you know, it has nothing to do with the cloud in this you know, this tweet that they have right here. But then right here they say we're aiming to build Dfinity is, you know, focused on building a scalable cloud-like platform. So that's where it confuses a lot of people. But, you know, I think the core of this, just to keep it simple, is that this sentence right here. They're trying to enable us to store data online. Oh my God, I keep clicking on the tweet. And support community-driven governance, computation, stuff like that. What I would think from that is that, you know, and from what they set up here, is that they're trying to get away from, you know, those centralized servers, and by having, you know, all of the people that are going to be mining on this blockchain that they're creating, and creating this ability to have data and perform computations and everything, it's taking the power away from some of these, you know, mega corporations that, you know, just have huge servers storing all this stuff, and they're processing all of the data there, and it's kind of bringing it back to the people, assuming that there are enough miners. And that's where the community-driven governance, I think, would come from. And then another interesting part of this, you know, as I'm coming down here, is the fact that, you know, it says they're able to update the smart contracts in 1 to 2 seconds, which is where, you know, they mentioned that we are able to have web-like speeds verifying these contracts. And then down here where it says, since it's a single public key, it allows them to verify the transactions in a more scalable way. You know, that's something that a lot of these cryptocurrencies are working on right now. That's interesting to look in the different approaches they're taking to it, because obviously right now the fees, the gas fees and all that kind of stuff are super expensive. So what we need right now in order to make this so that businesses can, you know, easily transact through their point of sale systems, like their cash registers, Apple Pay, all that kind of stuff, and to be able to take transactions through websites like PayPal and online platforms like Amazon, is we need something more scalable that's going to be able to support a massive amount of transactions. It's not going to be super expensive. And right now, this is pure capitalism, with very little regulation essentially taking place, where a bunch of companies are coming together, and, you know, if you put your money into it, like I said earlier, high risk, high reward. But all of these companies that we're betting on and putting different amounts of money in different areas are competing against each other to drive costs down. And now once you add in regulation, and you make it more difficult for the new cryptocurrencies to come in and all this other stuff, then on one hand you make it safer for people to invest, but on the other hand you defeat the, you know, pure capitalist kind of environment we have right now, where all of these different projects get to just compete, and whoever comes out on top comes out on top. I love it. So I just found this article talking about the 20-year roadmap, and this pieces it together really well. So, you know, within 5 years, the schools will teach about their programming language that they're going to have for this. And some open internet services will have achieved substantial success, and there will be widespread understanding of what the ICP is. I mean, that would be cool within 5 years, but I think for that one, I mean, to have widespread understanding of what it is, it's probably going to take a little bit longer than that, considering how new cryptocurrency is, but you never know. And then within 10 years, the internet computer will be on a path to overtake big tech's closed proprietary internet ecosystem, and funds will continue to be directed to the ICP from legacy internet companies, and DeFi will be on par with traditional financial technology. I think for that, they're talking about DeFi in general. So, I mean, between all of the money that's going to all of these different DeFi tokens, this should be possible within 10 years, in my opinion. And then within 20 years, the ICP will be bigger than the closed internet of today. Most of society's crucial infrastructure will be hosted on it, and individuals the world over will benefit from massively improved privacy and personal freedoms. Now, coming over to their website, when you click on the logo up there, it'll take you to the main home page. I literally just got here 2 seconds ago, so I'm going to be running through this with you guys and giving you my opinion on it at the same time. So, like a lot of the cryptocurrency companies, which is one thing I like about them, they have a good looking website. It's not the best I've seen, but it's good. The last original layer 1 blockchain project is launching a new Revolution Public network. So what I see that as is like, they say Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few of these other ones are supposed to be kind of like base layer protocols. And then you have other tokens or other projects that come like NFTs and build on top of those. So this is trying to be kind of one of those base layer things that, base layer protocols that everything else is going to get built on top of. And that's why in the previous article they were talking about having people learn the coding language so that, they just had this go open source on May 10th, and that enables the developers to come and start, coding and understanding how this is all going to work together. Okay, so the more I read about this, I think the more I'm starting to get it. I hope I phrase this properly, but from what I understand is essentially they're, adding a part to the internet where all of these different developers can create code, upload it in what's called canisters there. They have a reverse gas fee instead of a gas fee because it's burning in cycles, so you don't even need to tell people that it's running on a blockchain because they're not even going to notice any fees, which makes it scalable. And then, let's see, enterprise can be reimagined. Oh, and then because they essentially have computational and data storage power en masse throughout all of the data centers in the world, and you don't need a separate data center, you can create apps like TikTok and stuff like that where you're storing massive amounts of data as if you had a centralized server system, but you don't, which enables basically one person that's a really good coder to create an app. And instead of having to buy a warehouse and hook up 1,000 hard drives and stuff like that, and 1,000 computers, and have all these graphic processors, you're able to create whatever you want and just have it ran and stored on their protocol. Yeah, and then like what they say here, that I kind of mentioned but I didn't specifically say it, you're basically able to scale infinitely the more people that use this and are mining on their blockchain and essentially adding new data centers, which allows you to scale to whatever you want. It's not ran by one private organization. It's hosted on the blockchain. If you start mining or doing whatever you do to add to those nodes that they have, now it's a little bit bigger and the data processing power and everything is increased. And then they have, true end-to-end decentralization according to them. So, instead of having to code and do all this stuff for the front end and then host it through these proprietary cloud hosting and database services, now you can build it, and then without any plugins, you can just give it straight to them in browser without needing to host it through any of those cloud hosting services or anything like that, which you might be a little bit more familiar with if you're more into web design and stuff like that, doing the UI and UX for that, and then using sites like WordPress to try and host everything. One part about this that I just read that we mentioned earlier about not having the firewall, but this adds on to it. It's super cool. It says you won't need a firewall, a VPN, usernames, or passwords, because with orthogonal persistence, your data persists automatically within your variables, objects, and collections as the memory pages that host them are persistent, making databases a thing of the past. So, from what I understand from that, essentially the blockchain or the browser that you're using already is storing all of your data across every different thing you use, so you're not going to have to store it anywhere. Okay guys, I've pretty much had my internet computer coin fill of the day. This just came out, even though they've been working on it for a while. I just found out about it, so I'm still learning a ton. I'll give you guys updates as I kind of piece things together and really have a clear picture for myself, and give you updates on the project. If that's something you would like to see, just make sure to subscribe, like, comment down below, and let me know that you want to see updates and more on this as I learn more, and I'll do it. See you guys next time.